I will call the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. on Monday, January 27th, Dartmouth Planning Board meeting. And I will begin with a roll call vote. Helio Rosa.
Here.
Margaret Sweet.
Here.
Kevin Estes is here and acting chairman for the meeting. In place of our chairperson, Kevin Mello, who is absent for this meeting, as well as fellow board member Nick Psychopades. So with that start, Ross, we have a public meeting, the first item in the agenda for Dartmouth Street. And this public meeting is still open, is that correct?
That is correct.
And okay, we just need a vote to continue this. We're going to leave it open, correct?
Yes, at approximately 4 o'clock this afternoon, the applicant's representatives made a request to continue this public hearing as well as the site plan review for the same property, 696 Dartmouth Street. Was able to have a few meetings with their representatives today, so I think we got a good timeline to get this all up and running for the next meeting. So they're requesting a continuance to our next scheduled public hearing.
Great. Well done, Dan. And welcome to your first full-on meeting.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I guess at this point, I would entertain a motion to postpone the public meeting regarding the special permit as discussed until the February, is it 10th?
Correct.
10th meeting.
So moved.
And I need a second.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Helio Rosa and a second by Margaret Sweet. Helio Rosa?
Yes.
Margaret Sweet?
Yes.
And Kevin Estes will vote yes. On to the second item on the agenda is the same property, same applicants, site plan review. Dan, do you want to just speak a little bit about what took place, and which will largely be the same speech you just gave, but
yes, very similar to the special permit, the site plan review. The applicant is waiting for some comment review feedback from the Department of Public Works Engineering Division. We have a time frame laid out to have that reviewed. We're going to schedule a meeting between the planning staff, the DPW, and the applicant's engineer, hopefully beginning of next week, so we can address any outstanding issues and get everybody back together for the February 10th meeting. So they will be looking to request a continuance to the February 10th meeting.
Okay. I will, well, first of all, before we do that, Ross, I just want to make sure that neither the special permit and Dan, both of you guys, I'm not used to addressing both of you guys. I want to make sure that both the special permit and the site plan review application, extending this and honoring their request to continue doesn't cause any infractions with timelines that are mandated.
Yes, as part of the request for continuance of the 10th, we also had the applicant request to extend the time period for a decision for both the special permit and the site plan review. So we received both of those requests as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks very much for that, covering that detail. I will entertain a motion for the continuance of the site plan review application.
Mr. Chair,
Julio, you got your hand up.
yeah, Dan, do we know how long they're requesting the extension for, or how long we're prepared to grant it?
Just till February 10th, the next hearing. We had a conference call today, kind of laying out a timeline to try to make sure we get everybody on the same page prior to that meeting. So I think we're in good shape on that. The applicant is going to get revised plans back to the DPW middle of this week, giving the DPW time to review the end of this week. Then we're going to get together for a sit-down meeting with the planning staff, DPW, and the applicant's engineer to iron out if there's any other small details that need to be ironed out, and then we should be all set to reconvene on the hearing for February 10th.
When is the current deadline?
The deadline had actually already passed. They had already asked for an extension to the time frame, so this is an additional request for another 2 weeks.
Should we consider a longer extension? Should it be a 4-week extension in case the meeting requires a continuance on the 10th?
In my opinion, I think we should be good for the 10th. I think we have a good plan of attack to make sure we address any outstanding issues. I think it's getting close to the finish line, so I think we should be good to go to get this all taken care of by that 10th hearing.
I'll make a motion to grant the extension until February 10th, as well as continue the application.
Okay, I have a motion by Helio Rosa. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second from Margaret Sweet. Helio Rosa,
Yes.
Margaret Sweet,
Yes.
Kevin Estes, yes. All right, so we are now in the third item on the agenda, which is a surety request, a release request for Bakerville Vineyards. Dan, you want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure. This is a partial surety release request for the Bakerville Vineyards subdivision that's located off of Bakerville Road. The last surety request was back in February of 2024. At that time, the surety posted by the applicant was $1,846,000. The applicant requested back in December to get an updated surety request to get the partial release. The planning staff requested of the DPW to do a site inspection and determine what that new surety estimate would be. We received a new surety balance on January 9th. That surety was reduced to $1,305,086.12, which would result in a total of $540,913.88 to be released at this time. So that's what they're looking for numbers.
Great.
And it should both the previous surety and the new surety are included in your packet tonight.
Okay, pretty straightforward. Does anybody have any questions from the board?
We're all
Okay,
set.
I'll entertain a motion then to grant the application.
I'll make that motion to grant the application. To give them back, I forget the amount of money, but yes,
Yeah, as stated.
that's it. Thank you.
And then, so we've got a motion from Margaret Sweet.
Second.
Do I have a second? Helio,
Second.
big surprise. Great. So we've got a motion and a second. Margaret Sweet
Yes.
and Helio
Yes.
and Kevin Estes, yes. Moving on now to the fourth item on the agenda. Is also a surety release request This one is for Lamea Estates, which is an OSRD subdivision. Assessors map 65, lot 29 and 30 through 30-6. Dan, do you want to talk us through this one a little bit?
Sure. The last surety that we had requested the DPW back in April 18th of 2023. A surety was posted for $71,069.60. In December of 24, the applicant had requested a reduction of $59,224.65. As in the previous one, planning staff requested of the DPW engineering division to do a site assessment and give us an updated surety amount. Their updated surety amount wasn't up to the requested amount. Their new surety balance as of January 8th, 2025 was $44,895.20. This would allow for a reduction in a release of $26,174.40. That would leave remaining balance, as I stated, of $44,895.20 to remain with the town. There were a few outstanding items that the DPW still needed to see be completed before they could take those off of the surety request.
Okay. Members of the board, do you have any questions? Okay, I'll take that as a no. And then I would say that I would entertain a motion to grant the release of the surety as detailed in Dan's report.
So moved.
Second,
I have Margaret Sweet with a motion and a second from Helio Rosa. Margaret Sweet,
Yes.
Helio Rosa,
yes.
Kevin Estes, yes. All right, so that concludes the application business before the board tonight. We have the minutes as the next item from our January 6th meeting of 2025. Any questions on the minutes? And if not, I'll entertain a motion to accept and file.
So moved.
It's Helio Rosa with a
Second.
motion and Margaret Street with a second. Helio
Yes.
and Margaret
Yes.
and Kevin Estes, yes. So the motion passes for the minutes. Correspondence. Dan and Ross, this is kind of rare. There's no correspondence in the last 3 weeks.
No new correspondence since the last hearing date.
Okay. Well, do we even need any action on the board?
Mm-mm.
I would
I
say
don't
no.
No, I don't think so, Kevin. There's nothing to make a motion about.
Okay. Okay, for your information, old business, new business. First, zoning board of appeals decisions and legal ads. Ross or Dan, do you have anything to speak of there?
Ross, you didn't have anything on that, correct?
Nope.
Okay, has anybody had any subcommittee reports?
I have mine next week, Kevin, on the 4th.
Got it. I attended the Serpent meeting of Wednesday of last week. It was largely based on a lot of contract approvals for various towns, and they're covered by Serpent. and just, not a whole lot of important action. There was some discussion about, in a presentation on some stormwater management, which I thought was interesting to me from the standpoint that stormwater is apparently has become or going to become a at least at a state mandated level that towns are going to have to comply with. And I believe the name or nickname of this compliance requirement is SW3 or SW4. So I will make sure that Ross and Dan get a copy of the presentation, and I think we will probably have to bone up on the details of that. One of the services that Serpide is offering is to help out the towns, cities, municipalities that need some help coming into compliance with that.
Mr. Chair, I know the DPW has been working kind of in advance in that, so I believe we've already instituted some of the items that will be addressed in there, but it'll be good to go through it to see how close we are.
Great. Kudos to our DPW group again.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Julio.
Dan, is that something that you are familiar enough with or can get familiar enough with for DPW to update the board at a later date? Of where
Yes, I know. I'm not sure the exact dates, but in our we had a new stormwater bylaw, I would say probably within the past few years. And then DPW worked with town council to update their stormwater bylaws and regulations. I know it was with the eye that there would be new regulations coming down from the state level. So I know they were trying to incorporate that, but yeah, that's definitely something I can work with the DPW to make sure all the new information that has come forward will be included in that information.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for subcommittee reports. Planners report. Hey, we have a planner. Dan, your floor.
We have a few items. The first one, planning department intern has just completed his semester-long internship. I really didn't get a chance to do much with him as he left just as I was coming in. So if Mr. Cuddy would like to just say a few words for appreciation for him, that would be great.
Yeah. So I worked with him about an hour a day, each day since August. Him and I worked together on a lot of these reviews that we saw to kind of show him around plans and what they look like in the overall day-to-day of the office. Additionally, he started to work on kind of his overarching project for the semester, which will be very helpful for us in the long run, is kind of a slideshow of the commonly missed aspects of site plan review, kind of the comments that come up time and time again on newer projects that will hopefully enable applicants to get through the process faster and smoother, which would eventually lead to a better process overall for everybody involved. So much appreciated his efforts, and he will definitely be missed in the office.
Would you mind sharing his name?
His name was Jesse L.
Okay, and what school did he come from that this was his internship?
The high school.
Great.
Dartmouth High. So he's wrapping up his senior year, working on college applications right now.
Good. Well, thank you for your help, Jesse, and we wish you the best of luck in your pursuits. Anything else, Dan?
Yes, one thing Ross and I wanted to at least begin discussion with the board. I know it's a small board today, so I don't know if it's best to wait till the complete board's here before we make any final decisions on this. But as part of the open space residential design bylaw, one of the criteria when it comes to the holding of the conservation restriction for the open space parcel is the applicants are required to offer the opportunity to hold those CRs to a nonprofit organization. So we, as the planning board, should routinely update the list of potential conservation restriction holders. Ross and I kind of went through the open space and recreation plan to see which organizations tend to be inclined to hold these. It's not a necessity for any of them to hold them. If the applicant reaches out and none of the nonprofits are interested, then it would go to a homeowners association. But we need to just keep our list available for them to reach out to those nonprofits. Looking at the list, Dartmouth Natural Resource Trust, the Buzzards Bay Coalition, and the Trustees of the Reservation seem to be the most popular and probably have the better chance of being interested in those conservation restrictions. I'm not sure from past experiences or if any of the conservation members have added anybody else to that list, or if we feel 3 is enough to cover the applicants to reach out to a variety of those nonprofits. I would defer to the board members to get their opinions on that issue.
Okay. I would say that I would at least want to for sure have Kevin as the chairman chime in on that, and I'm sure Nick would have some great input in that too. So if you don't mind tabling that particular item for the next meeting,
Yep,
where we can get 5 voices instead of 3.
I would agree. The last item I have, one of the items for discussion for planning that Mr. Cuddy and I have talked about are some subdivision regulation revisions. We talked about a few surety issues tonight. So one of the things that we have started talking about with other departments in town is to look at maybe updating some of those procedures for lot releases and sureties. Another issue is, which kind of touched on your SERPED report, our drainage references are a little outdated because there are new regulatory concerns we have that need to be addressed, and I think it needs to kind of align with those DPW drainage regs. So those are a few things that we started with. So we talked with the interim town administrator about setting up a workshop with a few other departments. Again, this might be something we want to bring up again when we have the full board, but we wanted to look into see if any board members would be willing to attend some of those workshops. We could do up to 2 board members as part of those discussions. So I will defer to the board, but that's probably something we want to bring up again at the next hearing when we have all the board members here to discuss that and see who might be interested, if any.
Agreed. Is there a timeline on this, or is this just conjecture at this point?
No, it's just something we've just started the process on.
Great.
I don't think it's anything that's going to be ready for Springtown meeting, so I don't believe there's any rush. So spending till the next meeting, I don't think will have any real adverse effects on the time frame.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you for bringing that up, both those items, and I think we should. I agree with your judgment of tabling this one until the 10th of
Yes.
February.
Sounds good.
Anything else for the planners report?
That was it for me. Nothing else, correct, Ross?
Nope, no, I think we covered it.
Okay. Let's see. We have the master plan implementation report.
Nothing to add for that for this
Okay.
time.
Planning department updates, we've already hit that. Chairperson's report, I'm really not going to usurp too much authority here in my brief stay as chair. So I will not file a chairperson's report. And other than I look forward to have Kevin come back from wherever he is. So unless there's any further discussion, we have a seventh item to, or actually an eighth item to make a motion on.
I make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second from, a motion from Margaret Sweet, seconded by Helio Rosa. Margaret,
Yes.
Helio,
Yes.
and Kevin Estes, yes.